So, what's up, y'all? It's your boy, Phil, brother Phil, soul of a nerd, and coming to you live outside. And it's been a minute since I've been in here, but there's much reason to return with a new video, and that is the debut episode 1 of Marvel Studios Disney Plus series Loki. Yes. Actually snuck up on me this week that it was even debuting this week. I think it was Monday or Tuesday that it even dawned on me that it was coming up this soon. I knew it was coming in June, but I just didn't think it was that soon. I remember they did move it up from a Friday to a Wednesday, so a few things factored in there. And as I was preparing to come out here and make this little video here, it dawned on me that I never made a video for Falcon and Winter Soldier episode 6. So that's something I'm going to have to go back and do. I definitely have a review and some thoughts on episode 6 of Falcon and the Winter Soldier, as well as, the series as a whole. But, let's get to where we are right now. And first of all, I want to show off my t-shirt. This is pretty new, actually. My first time wearing it. And what better day than a nice sunny Sunday like this? So, also, let me just say off the top, I was actually hoping to watch the episode again of Loki right here, sitting here on my laptop. If you can see that. Yeah, but I'm not getting any Wi-Fi out here, so I'm a little disappointed. I wanted to watch the episode again for kind of a fresh take, because I'm going to be honest. This show was about an hour long, and that's going to be something interesting. This is the beauty. At this point, this is why I can just tell I'm going to continue to be, and why I have been such an MCU nerd and MCU fan, is that the content they're producing, as far as I'm concerned, it can't be truly appreciated, with just one viewing. I've been doing this for a while, since phase 2, where I was watching movies multiple times. I mean, not Iron Man 3. I've watched Iron Man 3, I think, twice, which was once in theaters and once when I went, finally got the DVD available. But Captain America, The Winter Soldier, 2014, Guardians of the Galaxy, I think I saw that twice in theaters. Captain America, Winter Soldier, saw twice in theaters, numerous times, both of them on DVD. Since then it's been that way. Saw Black Panther like 3 times in theaters, twice on DVD. I've seen Infinity War, I think 3 times in the theaters and like 6 times on DVD. Plus watched it on Disney Plus. So that's the MCU for me. I just saw Captain Marvel for the second time recently. Played it after the conclusion of WandaVision. I felt like I should go back and watch Captain Marvel to kind of tie in Monica's character, Monica Rambeau. So, that being said, now we had WandaVision, which was 30-minute episodes, 30 to 40 minutes, and as they got progressive, I had to watch them twice to take everything in. Falcon and Winter Soldier was very similar. Not all of the episodes. They were a little more straightforward, I think, just because they were more grounded. There was a few episodes that I watched twice. This show, first episode, is like, man, I gotta watch this again. So I got started on it again, and I got interrupted at home, and I thought I was gonna come here and watch it before I made this video. But since I can't, I'm not gonna prolong this review any longer. I'm just gonna go off of my first impressions watching it the first time. But I mean, this has nothing to do with you all, but me. I know I'm going to have to watch. I'm pretty sure I'm going to have to watch the rest of these episodes, each episode, which I believe there are 6. I'll be watching them twice before I make my review, just because there's so many layers. There's so much happening. in a series like this. Let me also give a little background. So I've done this with the other two series so far. I'm just going to do the same thing with this because these series were announced a while ago, and due to COVID in 2020, a lot of buildup has happened for each of these shows in anticipation. So to me, you almost have to factor in your anticipation with the it kind of carries over into the experience of watching it. And for me, Loki, honestly, was at the bottom of series that I was interested in. Uh, WandaVision was my most anticipated. Falcon and Winter Soldier was my second most anticipated. Um, I'm trying to think what were the ones they originally announced. You had What If, Hawkeye. I think Hawkeye was probably at the bottom of my list. And then Loki was probably after that. It feels like I'm forgetting another one that came out of the original announcement. But obviously, the point is, once they announced Moon Knight, She-Hulk, Ms. Marvel, Armor Wars, Secret Invasion, it's like Loki really even became less. Even though I knew Loki was going to come before those shows, I'm just saying in terms of anticipation, I'm just still thinking of these other shows. Even right now, having seen the first episode, I'm still looking more forward to seeing Secret Invasion, Moon Knight, and to a degree, She-Hulk. Miss Marvel, I'm not that hyped about, and plus you got a Wakanda series coming now too. But yeah, Miss Marvel, I'm not the most hyped about that, and I'm still not this super hyped about Hawkeye, although I expect it to be good. And what's the other one? Armor Wars. I think that one's going to be more interesting than people would think. But anyway, that being said, the point is, out of the original 4 series that were announced, Loki was in Hawkeye were my least anticipated. And the reasoning being, Loki is in a way I'm going to say run his course. Loki's been around for a long time. Love the character. One of the best characters in the MCU. One of the best comic book movie villains of all time, especially because he evolves past being a villain, but just even based on what he did in the first Thor movie and the first Avengers from 2012, to me, he ranks as a great villain. So, but we've seen him in a lot of movies now, and we've even seen him die and come back. But I'll be honest, in Endgame, when he picked up that Tesseract and disappeared, it was a hilarious scene. Not like it was comical, but it was just dope. It tickled, like tickled me pink, just like you just got a real kick and chuckle out of seeing that, the way they shot it. So, it was like, well, there we go. This guy's about to live on, even though he was killed earlier in the movie. But yeah, I guess that was my point. I was just like, where are they going to go? So, a whole series to see Loki do some things. The fact that it was a variant or a past Loki dipping off before he has evolved as a character, that was intriguing. But just overall, in my mind, I'm like, well, we've seen a lot of Loki. Do I really need to see more, basically? That being said, this first episode, and I mean, again, mind you, I remember seeing it was the last trailer. It was either the last trailer or the second to last trailer. I should have came online and made a video so I could have so I could have it to go back to reference. But I made a point when I saw this to myself, like, whoa, okay, this crap is looking phenomenal. I made a comment to my niece, who's a Marvel nerd, and it's like I said, I should have jumped on and I should have made a video, like a trailer reaction, just to prove my point that I'm not making this up now. But again, the first 1 or 2 teasers or whatever and trailers, I was like, okay, yeah, it looks interesting. Time variant. You hear about Owen Wilson playing in it, and I don't know, like the first trailers look kind of like this looks not corny, but I didn't like the idea of this variant agency with people wearing shirts and ties looking like regular earthlings and stuff like that. To me, it just felt like it should be more alien looking. That was just in my mind. And just, just some of the clips look like, where are they going with this? Like, where he's like running for president or something. I don't know. But again, the last trailer, or second to last trailer, visually was stunning. And then like the music they had with it, the shots they showed, including the one where I'm almost sure I saw him sitting in the Soul Realm with Black Widow, which would be dope if that actually happens. I'll talk more about that. But yeah, the point is, I was just like, okay, this last trailer makes me think this show. I'm way more curious to see what happens. That being said, still can't even say enough about this first episode. I was pretty much blown away. By far, this is the best first episode of. I'm almost tempted to say any Marvel show that I've seen. That's probably me being caught up in the moment when it comes to Black. What's it called? Luke Cage, Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Punisher, Agents of Shield, Runaways, Cloak and Dagger. The shows that were loosely trying to be in the MCU. Notice I didn't say Iron Fist or Inhumans, or even Defenders for that matter, which was a good show, but still. I'll just say this. It was a better first episode, more interesting first episode, more dynamic first episode than Falcon and Winter Soldier and WandaVision. And that's saying a lot, because the first episode of Falcon and Winter Soldier was very good. The first two episodes were dope, and obviously the combination of the first two episodes of WandaVision were good. I said before, that first episode still alone, it would have been a little iffy, but the two together was good. So, that being said, I'm just gonna get into it. I mean, I loved it. Forced my lady and my daughter to sit down and watch it, and my lady was definitely into it. She kind of, she likes her Marvel stuff, and she kind of follows my lead. But I could tell she was just like, okay, there's another Marvel show, huh? She didn't have no knowledge of what the show was going to be. I had to kind of fill her in on why because she remembered him being dead, and I had to kind of fill her in on what happened. Which was, let's get right there from the beginning. I had just described the whole scene where I was like, remember what happened when they went back in time and they found the Loki that was fighting the Avengers the first time, and they were trying to take him away, and Tony started having a cardiac arrest because Ant-Man snuck into his armor from the future, and she remembered all that. And then the freaking show opens with that. How genius. So first of all, this is what I'm saying though, in terms of me loving Marvel Studios and what they're doing, because I'm a mark for it. I mean, they keep doing it every time, and it works every time for me. And that is them being able to just continuously reference their universe. Now, this is called enjoying the fruits of your labor. The basking in the spoils of victory. To the victor goes the spoils. They have a plethora and just riches of footage and material and established lore and mythology and what's the word? Storylines, incidents, events that have happened now to tie back and just bring up. I mean, it is genius. Like, these are the things I don't think we even take. I mean, that we take for granted, and we haven't even taken into consideration that that's what they can do now. And it's not going to be it could become a thing that's old because you keep harping on and bringing up Tony Stark or things like that. But when you use this stuff cleverly and to expand a story, dopeness. And this is what we have. So it's like being able to just go right back to the scene, which is from Endgame, but it's also from the first Avengers movie, in a way, but in a spin-off version because of the new events from Endgame. You start with that right off rip and show you where we left off. So you're watching a movie scene on TV. You know what I mean? Um, it almost looked like they reshot it again because it was there was a few different things in my opinion. But anyway, he ends up in Mongolia, and from the minute other than a few things like the fact that let's face it, he's what 8 years, 9 years, the actor Tom Hiddleston, older, 8 years older than he was when he made the Avengers movie. And I can clearly see it's not the same, wrinkles in the face, a little more aged, and they didn't do that good. They didn't stay as true to the bruising that was on his face. Because mind you, this is shortly after the Hulk and whooped his ass, literally and figuratively, on the ground, and he was bruised up in his face when they finally, kind of captured him, and he said, "I'll have that drink now." I wish they would have kept that. I wish they would have followed up on that line or something like that when he got to the TVA. But anyway, so mind you, this is supposed to be within minutes of all that because they were trying to walk him out captive, and he gets away. So the Tesseract spits him out in Mongolia, and he should have. What the heck is that bell going off for? There's no way it's been an hour. You got a bell that goes off every 30 minutes, I guess. Yeah. So they did a little bit of a sloppy job of keeping his bruises and markings on his face accurate. But other than that, he gets up and he's right back on his "I am burdened with glorious purpose," and he gets taken away to the TVA. I'm not gonna give this like a play-by-play type thing, as I tend to do sometimes. I just want to say, Tom Hiddleston is reminding me. He reminds us of why. No, you are not tired of Loki. You have not seen enough of Loki. Yeah, you've seen a lot of Loki, but guess what? You want to see some more. His performance is just stellar. The charm, the charisma, the cockiness. This dude was born to play Loki, basically. It's getting ridiculous to the point where, like, you don't hear many people talk about this, but he's now, as far as I'm concerned, he probably already was, but he is on that Tony's, and oh my gosh, Robert Downey Jr. is Tony Stark. Who else? For a while, Christopher Reeve was Superman. He's on that level now. It's like Arnold Schwarzenegger is the Terminator. I guess no one else has tried to play the Terminator, really. Not that version. He's that cemented as that character, in my opinion. I know people talk about Heath Ledger as the Joker. People talk about even more often Hugh Jackman as Wolverine, X-Men shirt, which, I'm in the minority that thinks Hugh Jackman is not the definitive Wolverine. I honestly believe the Marvel Studios can and will cast a better, not a better, but as good and probably better Wolverine. Comic accurate and everything. Oh, that's the other person. Yeah, Charlie Cox as Daredevil. So there's like a handful of guys who I think are just they are that role. And Chris Evans is Steve Rogers as well. Those are like the only three, in my opinion, that are definitive at this moment. In Loki, basically, he's in that group now. Like, to have him playing Loki, it's like, again, he was born to play it. Like, he is Loki. There's not. It's just amazing. The layers this dude brings to the character is phenomenal. The chemistry between he and Owen Wilson was comical, tense. You know, it was everything you wanted it to be. The visuals, the the look of the show is so different. And again, I think that last trailer finally kind of opened my eyes to that, to realize, no, this is going to be a visually interesting show to look at. It doesn't look like anything. It almost looks like the Mandalorian to me. So I'm wondering, like, as far as cameras they're using and stuff like that. And sorry, excuse me, all. But yeah, it doesn't look like the other Marvel shows, and it doesn't look like the other Marvel movies. So I'm just loving that in and of itself, that Marvel keeps pushing to have different visual looks. It makes me think of like Black Panther, Thor Ragnarok. Um, those two movies stand out to me as having a different look than other Marvel movies had looked like. Even Captain America: The Winter Soldier being the first Russo brothers film. So you got these. What it is, you have these directors bringing their visual aesthetic to the movie. Real curious to see what Eternals is going to look like, and Shang-Chi, but so far they don't look like they're going to be that different visually. But let's get back to Loki. Um, the fact that they went, I mean, 'cause you don't really know where they're going to go. You figure, okay, well, yeah, they're going to. I knew the plot or premise of the show was him alerting or getting the attention of an agency that has to deal with people breaking timelines and things like that. Uh, but you still don't know exactly how it's going to play out, how much they will lean into past MCU stuff, and they just did a perfect job of leaning in to past MCU stuff and just the right stuff, and that's what made it perfect, I guess, because it really wasn't a lot, but you kind of had to go back and do something where, well, you did. I mean, you didn't know. You didn't know really in the first episode that he's gonna get a chance to see his whole fate, so to speak, and got to watch himself be killed by Thanos. Um, and we were talking about it afterwards, me and my lady. It's just like how deep it was when you really think about it. This guy, he's coming fresh off of his attempted conquest of Earth, so he's still this overly confident, ambitious, damn near psychotic, obsessed. Yeah, there we go. Um, Sycophant tyrant wannabe who wants his rightful place that he feels he deserves, with a chip on his shoulder, all that stuff. Anger towards Thor, the whole nine. Think about that. He's coming from all of that still, and he just got his ass handed to him, but yet he got away. And then he's getting shown that things went quite differently from what he thought, when he gets to see that he did end up back in Asgard in the real timeline. And it's almost like saying, look what you just disrupted. You're supposed to go back to your home in Asgard. You do inadvertently allow enemies into your home, so to speak, and they end up killing your mother. And then you eventually have a kind of a reconciliation or peace for a time with your brother Thor. I mean, you get to see that your father passes, you have a sister, all that stuff. He gets to see the events of Thor: The Dark World, Thor Ragnarok, and Infinity War through the eyes of a dude who hasn't even gone through it and is still that guy from 2012 Avengers movie. That's pretty profound. I just think, I can't say that I could have predicted they were going to do that, or if they were going to do it, that they would go about it in that way. Like, I might have seen it happening over the course of the entire series, but not all in the first episode, in the form of them showing him a video, which was very cool, because then how they concluded it with a, like, film reel that runs out. That was just so gut wrenching and profound. The camera shot of that and everything where the film just ends, man. It's like that's it. That's how it is for all of us, you know. It's just gonna end one day, you know. Our story's over. And the way that they're making the parallel that's how the time variance works. Is like you can actually watch, and it's also building the mythology of the MCU. He's even questioning it, and they're doing this thing like they did in WandaVision, where it's like they have written. It's just so dang brilliant. They write the dialogue so that the characters ask the questions that we're asking, so that it's like they're not beating us over the head and like spoon feeding us answers to what's happening, but they're making it clever dialogue amongst characters, so you're filling in story like you totally just got an explanation on what the TVA is without the TVA saying what they are. Although there is a moment where they kind of do that, which was I forgot the name of the character, but the thing with the little clock, I guess it was the cartoon. Now I'll admit that was a little borderline cheesy, because there's part of me that's like, why would there be a cartoon for such a serious agency? But we all know Marvel has to add a quirky kind of, it's going to be something that makes you laugh, a lightheartedness. That's what they do, and that's their brand. And I'm all for it. I have no issues with it. It's just when you know that that's going to be part of their presentation of each of their projects, you're bound to have some that hit and some that don't, and there'll be some corny, cheesy moments, borderline, or just flat out cheesy. So yeah, that was what I would call close to borderline cheesy. Because yeah, part of me is just like, why would there be this extensive cartoon? Like, why is it a cartoon? It's like meant for kids to learn and understand. Like, why would you need to give your explanation of such a powerful agency in the form of a cartoon for kids? So it's like clearly a kind of, quick, cheap grab at the kids. But they explained it with the three. It was three, the timekeepers, which one of them looked kind of like Kang the Conqueror to me. And I'm wondering if there's going to be some tie-in with him, because obviously he's a time traveler and he's being introduced into the MCU, and it's been kind of loosely confirmed that he's part of Ant-Man Quantumania. So again, just the continued connecting the dots and connectivity of the MCU. They are not about to let up on that, and that's what makes them great. It's like I don't think it could be considered getting tired or old for them to make everything let you know it's connected, because again, they don't beat it over your head. Iron Man 2 might have been the most blatant movie as far as like knowing that they're setting up stuff. Captain Marvel kind of did too, actually. But it was an origin movie. But yeah, there was kind of a lot of setup in Captain Marvel and Iron Man 2 as far as setting up future movies. Um, but when you think about like a movie like Ant-Man 2 and how they use the quantum realm, and then you see how it played out in they mentioned the quantum realm in the first Ant-Man in 2015, and then we really get a payoff in 2019, 4 years later, with them using it to do a time travel heist. You know what I mean? That's the kind of stuff I'm talking about. It's just brilliant. Um, there's other examples of that, even going back to the first Iron Man. So Marvel continues to plant those seeds in great ways. So I'm looking at this as some stuff we don't know now because it's being introduced to us. But again, because of their history, you start to figure out, okay, we're probably looking at so much stuff that's about to it be explained or further developed or pay off again in another movie, such as the Timekeeper, such as TVA, such as the idea of breaking off what as they call these variants. If you break what was it called, a nexus event, when that gets their attention when someone breaks something in a timeline. So I think that's going to have a lot to do with Phase 4, and definitely I think you're going to be seeing this is how the multiverse is going to get. I'm thinking Eternals is going to somehow touch on this stuff. So it's going to be amazing to see Eternals, Loki, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, and apparently Spider-Man No Way Home. You know what I'm saying? Oh, and essentially WandaVision, we've already seen it. That's 5 different properties that are likely to. Oh, and then of course, like I said, Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania. So we're talking 6 properties, 6 titles that are gonna probably deal with quantum stuff as well as multiverse stuff. And then once you introduce the Fantastic Four, they're probably gonna get sucked into that stuff, into that kind of storyline. And we're getting pieces of it right now. So um, I just saw a headline video on Comic Book Cast, which is a YouTube channel I follow, that said something like they said that Loki is going to have even more to do with the multiverse than WandaVision did. So I got to go back and watch that. I mean, I like that channel, but frankly, my man over there, he does a lot of speculating and a little bit of overhyping rumors and gossip over there. So who knows how legit that is or what he's referring to even make that video. All I know is I could definitely see that happening just based on this first episode. Like, some of the stuff that happens in this first episode looks so heavy implicating, like having heavy implications. For example, um, oh, also, like, the one guy works in the office, the nerdy guy with the short sleeve button down with his tie. Like, I can already see, like, again, Marvel's gonna have their, like I said, comedic relief, comic relief, whatever you call it. I'm not feeling him so far. Maybe he'll do something that'll be funny later on, but he's kind of annoying right now. I do like the agent, or whatever she is. She's kind of a stocky black woman with an afro. I like her. I like the one who's the light-skinned black lady who's like a judge or counsel person. Um, I've seen her somewhere though. That's not the same one from the Runaways. No, I don't think so. But yeah, I like her. Obviously, Owen Wilson's doing his thing. So I like them setting up some characters. As I was mentioning before, when I was first seeing the previews or trailers, I didn't like the fact that they just looked too traditionally Earthling with shirts and ties. I'm thinking they should be intergalactic space type people. But I guess it had to dawn on me, no, who said that this is space? It's just, these are people recruited to deal with time variances. So in a way, I'm like, maybe they're human, but they're somehow recruited into this. So hopefully we get an explanation for that, like Mobius, which is another weird thing. So we're gonna have Mobius and a Morbius in Sony's thing, which of course there's rumors that Sony's thing is gonna start to be connected to the MCU. But I've kind of gotten over that now after watching this episode and just watching the way that these characters are being portrayed. Some of my disbelief or hesitation or apprehension about it has been very much put to rest or put at ease. And I'm just like, okay, so I mean, they're basically like regular people,